Hello, hello, and welcome to the Expanded Woman podcast, where we talk about all things spiritual, personal, and business development. I have another local guest on today with me. Her name is Kacie, and she has so many cool and exciting things to share. We're also kind of just getting to know each other. And yeah, so welcome to the pod, Kacie. I'm so happy to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I have a feeling that we're going to have a lot in common.
I think so too. I'm already really digging your energy right off the bat. I'm like, we're gonna have a good flow. We're gonna get along well. And a big reason why I wanted to start doing more local, having more local guests is to connect with people. And I think it's such an amazing thing to have that local community because it doesn't compare to I mean, online can be great, but it's just not the same, you know?
I love all of it. I love having the internet and connecting with people all over the world. And then also when you find someone who is in the same weather pattern and time zone that you can chat with, so neat. And opportunities to actually, yeah, be in the same energetic vortex and maybe even see each other in real life sometime instead of just on the
Yeah. Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. We were just chatting before we started recording about the weather here. We're just kind of on the tail end, fingers crossed, of a nasty cold snap. And being that it's like at the end of February, yeah, we're just kind of done. We're done with this.
ready for spring, new energy.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the weather, like I'm not super into astrology and that kind of thing. Like I read about it and I love it. I am into it. I just I'm not like educated in it. So, do you have anything you want to share about what's going on? Because you seem like you know all about it.
I would not say all. I'm not an astrologer, but I do keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening with the planets and the Earth. That's what I'm really interested in is the evolutionary cycles that the planet goes through and that we go through that astrology represents. And right now we are stepping into so much new beginning energy. And it's this conglomeration right now of the numerology, the astrology, there's Chinese zodiac pieces that are
Hmm.
all coming in. The Vedic astrology is also very like explosive with this new energy, and it's can be really destructive and also incredibly creative, and those are two sides of the same coin. So there's just a lot going on. We spent the
Yeah.
last year and a bit doing a lot of shedding and releasing and finishing things up, and now more new energy is coming in than we've ever had before. And I'll tell you, I am here for it.
I am with you there, sister. I am with you there. And yeah, I feel like everyone can kind of feel it right now. It's almost like this feeling that like something good is coming, but you almost like don't really quite know what it is.
Well, it is going to be unexpected for sure, but that's why I'm careful to say like it's new and sometimes that means destruction
Yeah.
because in order to create new, we need space to actually build it. And so there's a lot of pop astrology out there that's like everything is going to be amazing and it's like actually
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty traumatic and horrifying in pockets, but there's also going to be pockets of like incredible beginnings, but birth is by, very the virtue of it, it's kind of messy and it walks that edge
Yeah.
between life and death, really. So
Yeah.
we're in that birth canal right now where the old paradigm is dying, the new one's being born, and it's all happening at the same time. So it's a chaotic mess.
Yeah. I think that everybody has like desperately kind of clung to this whole fire horse energy after going through the year of the snake and just that being such a hard year. I feel like, yeah, everybody is just like, yes, we need an easier year. Like, we need fresh energy, which it is fresh energy, but it doesn't mean that, like, this year is going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Absolutely not. It never is. It never is.
I have been told for decades that I am delusional in the energy that I bring forward, that I tap into, and it's like sunshine, rainbow, unicorns, dragons. And I'm like, but that's my internal landscape that I have cultivated enough access to so that I can navigate the external chaos.
Yeah,
And I
what
think
you're talking about is different.
well, here's the thing. When you have cultivated the space in you and the inner peace and stability,
Yes,
then you can access like literal divine bliss in just a few moments. And
I
I've
agree.
spent lifetimes cultivating that. And that means that when you're operating in the systems and the craziness, you still have this access to that and it never goes away. So you have this resilience and peace even in the hard moments. And that's
Yeah.
what I want for people, especially the light workers, the leaders, the conscious entrepreneurs who need to be in the energy of like, I call it being unfuckwithable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like
Mm-hmm.
we're on purpose, on mission, doing what we need to do with blinders on, especially in this fire horse energy, so that we are focused on what we can do and not the entire system crumbling around us.
I completely agree. And it's like I think that it's so easy to get wrapped up in this like forward motion, like the energy that's like so expansive, so exciting. It's almost like dysregulating. And I feel like it's like we have to remember to continue to like anchor back into that like center, into that bliss that I know like I can connect with that feeling of bliss as well pretty quickly. It's like a conditioned response now. Put my hand on my heart and everything just starts to shift for me. But it's remembering to continue taking this space to do that because I can be so bad for like just getting way too excited about life and like just going into like the sympathetic in my nervous system and like to the point where it's like unhealthy. And I'm like, okay, let's wind it back a little bit, anchor back in,
Mhm.
get back to
You
our
are not alone.
center. No, no.
That's actually a big part of the work that I do because I work with conscious entrepreneurs and the people that are really here to be the emissaries of light and the visionaries and bring through solutions for humanity and help people get through this time. It's like really deeply anchoring in and expanding our capacity to be in that energy of the anchoring, where I call it the divine
Hmm.
flow, where we are in a space where the divine is moving through us. We get to be the channels, we get to be the bridge for heaven to earth. And all of that feels so good, but we have to continually expand our capacity to hold that while things get more and more and more intense. And that's like the secret sauce to life, really, I think,
Yeah.
and to making money, to having fun, to being the on your soul mission and soul purpose. So, I talk about like let's make money, let's be magical, let's have the impact, let's have the skills that you need to help people through transformation. But underneath all of it, it's like just having enough capacity for the divine to flow through you so that you can be that light in the world that people need right now without burning out or like blazing, too brightly and then burning.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how many times I have been there. I feel like something really shifted into me in January. Like I took a bunch of time away from work last year because I sold my house and I moved and I was clearing out an estate with a friend and I needed some space, you know?
Mm,
And and then December, the whole month of December I was sick. The whole month
mm,
with two different illnesses took me out. And so when I came back in January, I was like, okay, like it's time to go. Like we gotta catch up. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. And I was putting so much pressure on myself. And I got so overwhelmed and so burnt out. And I was like, why do I keep coming back to this place?
mhm,
I was like, I need to clear out all this extra noise and literally like take all the pressure. I'm like, there's no one here. I'm self-employed. There's
mm.
nobody here putting pressure on me except for me. Like, so get it together, Sarah. And so I just kind of made a decision to like slow down and to continue showing up, but just in a more of like an aligned way, I guess, like not pushing myself past like where I felt like I could keep going, I could keep going. It's like you could, but you don't need to. Like finishing work at noon instead of 5 or whatever. And everything just feels so different for me now in my business. It's like I'm like, yeah, we're building. We're getting there. We're building sustainably, like, taking our time. There's no rush because I think that a lot of people, like, I don't work with business owners, but it's funny because you and I do like the same kind of work, but you're working with business owners. I'm just helping people heal and whatnot. There was so much time I spent in my business just trying so hard to like to put what I wanted to put out there, but because I needed something. And there's just such a huge shift that happens like um when you don't need something, you're just showing up and you're trusting like I think that in the online space there's so many people that are becoming successful so fast that we think that we have to create the success quickly. But I've really realized over the last couple months that like it's not a thing. Like it takes time.
People skyrocket to success too fast. Most of the time, they cannot hold it. And I have
Yeah.
seen the crash and burn. And it takes, they say, 10 years to actually become an overnight success. So a lot of the people that we see that look like they just skyrocketed have been working in the background for a very long time. And if they haven't, they probably are going to crash and burn. So,
Yes.
like, understanding what's happening in the back is so important. Actually, in 2020, when I brought my business online for the first time, because I had been working exclusively in person, more in the personal development through like movement arts and healing work, and circus arts too, as a professional hula hooper. I had been prepping for an online business for almost a decade without people really knowing that's what I was doing. And then so when COVID started, I'd actually spent the 9 months before that prepping really hard because Spirit actually didn't tell me COVID was coming, but it was like, you need to make this move and you need to get started. So I was working on it and then I just like appeared out of nowhere and made 6 figures in my first year in sales and like all of these things. People are like, where did you come from? I'm like, I have diligently been working in the background for
Yes.
even know. I like the
Yes.
what people put in the background is something that we don't see on the IG highlights reel, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's a reason why so many businesses fail. It's not because the business wasn't necessarily a good idea. It's because people give up because it takes so dang long.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
went through that same, like, where I pushed really hard because I was like, okay, now is the time. I was divinely guided, soul mission. Here it is. Do all the things, try all the things, invest in all the things. And I did wind up leaving my body behind and burning out and maxing my capacity. And I spent a few years being really stalled at like the success that I had gotten. And I was holding on, but I could not grow and expand because I didn't have the ability to. Like, I just had no more in me to give. And so I had to also do that shift from like the push into the flow and let things, expand naturally and bring in the systems and structures to hold it and get my energy a little bit more out of the way, which is still a work in progress. But
Yes, always.
that's an interesting.
Yeah, we would be lying if we if we said we had it all figured out for sure. Yeah. It's like um it's so hard not to get pulled into the stream that everybody like almost the entire world is in. You know what I mean? Like it takes so much conscious effort and work to stay grounded and true to yourself and true to your own journey. Like especially with social media and just how much exposure we have to everybody else's ideas and opinions. It's like you got to keep coming back to center, coming back to center.
You are speaking to the biggest lessons that I have had in business and also the shit that I teach. Like,
Mm-hmm.
which is ironic always, but we're here to teach what we learn really thoroughly and what we've been through. And I have always known that your connection to the divine and your truth and your expression is the way. And then when I wanted to like scale my business, because I am so devoted to the service that I have and the magic I have inside, I know I have to bring it to a bigger audience, I did start thinking too much about what other people were doing and like what can I learn from them. And
Mm-hmm.
in a way, that is amazing. I learned so much, but I did accidentally give away some of my power in
Yeah.
the process. And I like trying other stuff on to see if it fits and alchemize it. And I make a lot of
Yeah.
mistakes. That's how I learn. But I kind of forgot a little bit that actually what my spirit and self is telling me to do is the way. And but now I
Yeah.
get to teach it from a much deeper place of like, right, it doesn't work if you do it the other way. This is the way.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so easy to hear like, okay, everybody else is doing this, or like for instance, my friend was talking to me about all this stuff that she was doing in her business, and listening to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, should I be doing that? And immediately in my chest felt this like pressure, and I'm like, no, no, no. We're literally exactly where we need to be. We don't need to. And like you said, it's like I can hear other people's ideas and try them on. That's part of being a business owner. It's like, oh, let me try this. Oh, no, I don't like this. Never mind. Or, hey, actually, this ended up taking me down a completely different road, and that was amazing. And
Mhm.
it's like you have to be able to like be grounded in yourself enough to know if it's pressure or if it's like an inspiration, and then also have the ability to give yourself the spaciousness to make mistakes and to like quote unquote fail.
Totally. Without the judgment, it's just data.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that dance is so important because just because something is hard also doesn't mean it's misaligned. It actually might be your thing, but it's a growth area for you.
Yeah.
So that is tricky too. People think, oh, it's hard, so it's out of alignment. No, it probably isn't. It's probably more aligned if it's really hard for some
Mm.
weird reason. Like we have to move through the fear and the resistance and the learning zone into that. But you're right,
Yeah.
it's such a subtle thing. Am I trying this because someone else told me I should, or because it's aligned with my path?
Yeah.
Especially if you are like me, and I have a big guess that you are. If you're very multidimensional, multi-talented, multi-passionate, and you could do a lot
Hmm.
of things, it's like you want to try them all. I have blocked a lot of my success because I've tried so many things all at once because I look at it, I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. And I can, and I do. And it's like, okay, but what about mastering like the most aligned thing
Yeah.
and trying everything?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like choosing, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be like one thing. Like, for instance, I do a lot of workshops. I don't just do one type of workshop. I do several different kinds of workshops, but like that's kind of my main thing that I'm doing other than like one-on-ones and stuff. And um I think it's so hard to not get caught up in thinking like, okay, but I want to do all of these other things, and knowing that those other things will come in due time and you don't actually have to do every single idea that you've ever had right away.
Yes.
Like
And
we
not
literally
every
have
idea is
our whole
hard.
life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that
Yeah.
that actually is funny that you're talking about it because for me, I did do that and I acted on so many ideas, but it was actually in alignment for me, even though
Yeah.
it seemed like I was doing so many different things, because I was actually testing my modality that I had been working with, channeling, developing with my one-on-ones, my groups, and then also in a bunch of different ways to make sure that it fits so that when I'm teaching it to other people, I can be like, okay, this works for this, and this, and here's what you're going to find. So I actually required going out there and just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and
Yeah.
gathering all, this is a gross metaphor, I guess, picking the stuff off the floor that was still edible, creating something that works for more people. So my process though is very different than someone who is not cultivating their own modality and they're not here to teach and channel something that came through them that needs to be like experienced and experimented with.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why your spaghettios taste so good, hey?
Sawdust
That extra
working.
flavoring.
I promise I have cooked new spaghetti. That was just data. That was the first
Yeah.
run through.
Yeah, throw away.
There's new spaghetti on the table for you.
Um, I think that something that's important too, like, people will say like focus on one thing until you master it, and I think that's a very good piece of advice. But at the same time, as long as if you are doing different things, you still feel centered and you still feel good, then that might be right for you as well, you know?
Yeah. And again, that goes back to the like you can't follow someone else's path because for some people that would be the wrong way to do it. Some people are really designed for depth, like so much depth. I am a generalist that works with the whole unified field, and I need to have that in order to be able to do what I'm here to do. And I like depth too. So, your human design, your astrology, what feels good in your system, your
Yeah.
unique imprint, we can look at all of these systems and I love them. I love human design. I love astrology. I love all of that stuff. And also I always come back to that frequency and soul alignment and really learning how to actually channel your business and your highest self and your body and speak to them and get the direct guidance when you're in coherence and integrity and unplugged from all the other shit because that
Yeah.
is what gives you the best like
Yes.
about what to do.
Yes. And when you are like connecting when it comes to like decisions in your business, would you say that you get like very like detailed instructions, or is it just kind of like here's the next step and like you figure out the details kind of thing?
It depends,
Okay.
actually. So I teach a lot of psychic and intuitive development stuff so that people can discern truth. And one thing I always say, because it's the foundational level before I can teach like my modality, you have to have this channel before we can do the higher level fun magic for business. You have to have this channel. And when you are working with these psychic energies, it depends on what you need. We work with the highest self and with the earth itself and with your luminous team with the faith and trust that you're going to get what you need and not what you want. And that's
Yeah.
annoying, right? Because we will want the
Yeah.
whole path. We will want like a detailed map with every step of the way, but that would really hinder us in actually playing the game. So I like to do
Totally.
two main things. I like to like actually go to the bigger vision, maybe connect with a future version of yourself on the highest timeline, download the keys and the codes and the biggest vision pieces, and then get more granular and being like, okay, what is the next right step? And maybe get a few steps
Yeah.
ahead. But there is going to be a missing middle part, right? Because there's a million ways you could get there. And there's also a piece around um, not trying to control all of it and learning how to operate in the faith and trust in the creativity of the divine,
Yeah.
right? Your highest self, for example, can give you stuff that you would not expect because the synchronicities need to come into play. The creative imagination of how it's going to work is going to be a lot more interesting than you from your human self trying to like operate in the knowing and like the known and what you think should happen. Because we all know looking back, there's stuff that you couldn't plan for.
Oh, totally. And I think that we very often think that there's like only one path, or like a lot of people think that. And something that I've really come to know is that there's there's no wrong path. Like you can make the wrong choice, but it's not, you're still going to end up where you need to go. You might be taking a little detour, but you could literally choose any strategy or, method to get your work out there, whatever it is, and it's all going to work. You just have to like be able to double down and trust that it's going to and continue showing up in that way. Because the reason why I asked is because like I used to think that, like I could channel like all of the little minute details of how I needed to like do my work. And the further along I've gotten in my intuitive journey, the more I've realized that it's not really like that.
Sometimes it's not, but I am a really big fan of getting into that space every day. I call it being in sacred space and then prepping your field energetically so we're a really clear channel and getting reconnected, having that flow, getting into the field and the frequency of abundance where all the possibilities lie, not all the answers to the solutions to your problems are all in that quantum field. So get into that state every damn day and ask like, what shall I do? What shall I focus on? who shall I serve? Like ask really specific questions and just
Hmm.
get the specific answers. But the quality of the answers we get is going to be based upon the questions that we
Yeah.
ask. So if
Yeah.
we're not asking in detail, like if we're just like, what should I do? Then you might get something that's like, here, go to coffee with this person, and that's great. But if you're like, okay, who shall I speak to today? And how shall I serve them? You can get some pretty
Yes.
specific stuff, right? Like
Yes.
you can ask and answer questions that are like, should I, move to Kajabi or should I go to with GHL or should I go to system like IO? And if there is an answer for you, you might get, well, it doesn't matter, like whatever floats your boat, or you might get like, oh, obviously could stay with Kajabi. That's going to be easier for right now or something, right?
Yes.
You, I
Yes,
think you can
totally.
do very specific stuff. And I know this because I take people in my mastermind and one-on-one sessions to do this kind of channeling. And I ask them those questions and they're like, oh, wow, I was so confused when I was trying to figure it out. And then when I drop in, they're like, oh, okay, here's the whole thing. Like, wow, that was
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. No, I totally agree with that. I think maybe what I was referring to is more of like the instruction manual, like the part that we like there's a part that we need to figure out on our own. I absolutely agree for sure that we can um channel the minute decisions like Kajabi or Podia for sure. Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of like doing the channeling, doing the spiritual stuff, but then also the human practical stuff and like weaving it together, human and divine at the same time. And sometimes the human experience is like, oh, I actually needed to figure that out on my own. I needed to, read a book. I needed a course. I needed a coach.
Yeah,
I needed a space,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so true. Sometimes it's like that you do need to go and get this education and then you're led to that.
Hmm.
Yeah. It is such a fun game.
Yeah, obsessed.
Yeah, also obsessed. I am like so excited to hear about your modality that you've created. So please tell me all about that. Tell me all about it.
Sure. I would love to because I know you're into alchemy and it is called evolutionary alchemy. So, when I really get down to it, I am here for the embodied ascension of humanity to help people through this transition out of the old paradigm of like separation and scarcity and forgetting back into whatever we call it, the unity field consciousness, the like new earth, the multidimensional remembrance, all, like whatever that is. But I want people to feel supported through that process. And I have a how-to manual that I have co-created with Gaia, the consciousness of this planet, and through years of sessions with individuals and with groups, we have all of these different practices that are energetic to dissolve the density and the stuff that's not actually like organic to us, all of the
Yeah.
shit that's in the way
Yeah.
of us remembering. I think we all have this beautiful light inside of us, a spark of the divine or something much bigger than that. And it's the alchemy is getting rid of all of the density or turning it into rocket fuel, turning the shit into gold, turning the pain into your purpose, the
Yeah.
stuff that was holding you back into rocket fuel for your soul evolution, for your business, for your growth. And so it's a combo of
Yeah.
like energetic stuff that I love working in sacred space in a ritual container that supports the nervous system and gets the divine to do it with us. We do a lot of clearing and cleaning, but then activating the next level pieces, which can be like, memories, DNA, like all kinds of stuff, and channeling through the next right steps. And there's a bunch of ways we do it. I like to call it, soul journeys, cosmic carpet rides through the divine, guided meditations, doesn't matter, but it's ceremonial work with the divine. And we actually do a lot less than you'd think. And I get spirit or Gaia to do the bulk of the work. And I'm kind of
Hmm.
just a tour guide because the divine can do it better than we can. And when we do that, it allows us to feel so freaking supported and
Hmm.
connected. And that
Hmm.
creates that availability in the nervous system for us to actually almost instantly dissolve so much of the density and be in the higher frequencies where we remember who we are And then the second half of the work is the embodiment. Like, okay, you might get a channeled message, you might have activated this, but I think that just mystical work is like masturbation. It feels amazing. Okay. Like it feels good. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Lower your blood pressure, lower stress, feels good. Meditation is amazing for meditation's sake. But for the conscious entrepreneurs and the people that are here to change the world, and really for anybody, you can't just meditate and activate some kind of frequency. You have to then become the version of you who can hold it. So that's going to take subconscious reprogramming, identity work, supporting the body, like really working with the whole field to actually live in that new frequency. So, that in a nutshell,
Yes.
is what we do. Bring the magic down to earth so the human can inhabit it and live from that place.
Yeah, I think that the identity part, oh my gosh, like that is so important. And I mean, it's becoming more, I guess more popular now that people are learning more about that. But without alchemizing and being able to change your identity, you will never be able to hold any kind of transformation that you make. Um, and the like the unraveling, I call it, like getting rid of all of what wasn't meant for us. But all of the all of that stuff that wasn't meant for us caused us pain and trauma, and that's the part that we get to like alchemize, and you can't just get rid of all that stuff because then there would be nothing there to replace it, right? So you have to actually consciously replace that with what you want to replace it with. So I love that you're doing this work, and it sounds like so juicy, and I like all the mystical stuff is like that's where my soul is, like that's where we are the most happy. Like that's
Mhm.
it's just it's so fun. Like
It
it's
is so
cool and
fun.
it's so fun. Like
It
so
also
fun.
feels really good. I have
Yeah.
clients that are having these whole body soulgasms, in a chair on a Zoom call, feeling like
Mm-hmm.
sobbing because they're like, I forgot, or I am remembering or meeting for the first time in this lifetime this level of peace, joy, and like,
Oh.
being in that divine frequency. It fills the hole, the void that, a lot of people are trying to fill in other ways. But again, you
Mm-hmm.
can't just stay there. We have shit to do in the real world. So like
Yeah.
I love encouraging it and making sure that it doesn't just stay in the mystical masturbation realm. And it's like, especially for conscious entrepreneurs, it's like we want to make the baby. So we have to actually bring it into the physicality and do the work and the action steps and the things like that
Yeah.
to stuff happen. Because there's way too many mystics and people who have this enlightenment accessible to them who are broke and not able to actually affect any change. And there are people that will say, well, when you have enlightenment, you'll realize nothing has to change at all. It's like, yes, and we also came here for some purpose work to bring everyone along with us. So that's when we show up teaching and in, whatever soul service we're here to do, because it's not always mystical, right? I work with people who are like building websites for other people, and people, moms who are raising new kids. It doesn't have to be, a
Yeah.
spiritual.
Well, even like the mystical that you're talking about is very like being able to connect to that like love and that peace and that divine consciousness. Like I do that with my somatic work as well. And that's like a huge part of healing. Like that's a huge piece of like the alchemization is actually teaching our bodies how to feel that and how to hold that. Like the first time I experienced that feeling of like pure bliss, I was like, oh my God, like we've been missing the whole point of healing. Like this is the point of healing is to actually enjoy our lives and like actually feel good in our bodies, not to figure out what we can fix next so that we can get to where we want to go. It's like, no. So to me, it's like, yeah, it's mystical, but it's also practical, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is, I think, the missing key to so many pieces. And some people will use that as an excuse to bypass life and they will stay there. But I think it's just the first step. Like,
Mm-hmm.
longer healing, you don't need to, you just come into wholeness. And when you're in
Yes.
state. And your body can do so much to support you to come into like optimal states. Most of the time, there's some illnesses and ailments and injuries that take a lot more physical work, but
Mm-hmm.
when we do that and our body's coherent, our immune system works better, our digestive system, all of our higher level creativity, logic, reason, intuition, all of that works better because it's basically taking you out of that fight or flight where
Yeah.
things are shut down and into the parasympathetic state of like rest and digest, where we're functioning optimally. And then from that, we can get the clear answers about like what to do, how to do it. And that I think
Yeah.
is the link. A lot of people that are like trying to channel their soul purpose or channel the divine, they don't realize that their nervous system actually, which is what translates light, is to in that sympathetic activation to actually get correct answers.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, that's like literally the foundation of intuitive development. It's
Yeah.
creating the quiet to receive.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, such foundational work. I have a 6 week psychic accelerator that I just started. I used to call it the Divine Channel. I moved it to being called Psychic AF. Um, and I wasn't planning on running it this year, especially not at this time. But Spirit in January, when I was on a little like business planning retreat just out in Sherwood Park or just outside of
Mm-hmm.
Sherwood Park, so fun. It was clear. It was like, you have to do this. And I was like, I don't want to. That's not my plan. And so it's like, no, no, like you need to right now. And I was like, okay. And I realized how perfect it was because it's really the foundational key to literally everything else, right? If you don't have that direct hotline to the divine
Yeah.
for this fire course here, for all of this new like Aries energy, all of the astrology, all of the numerology, like if you don't have that, you're gonna have a harder time. You should be able to just be like, okay, what next? Drop into your heart and get an answer. And if you can't, then that is the first part of the work. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
gonna wind up veering off. And when we're moving so much faster than we have been, like if you're moving slowly a little, being off, like that's okay, you can correct course. But when you're going at warp speed, a little becomes a lot and you're like off course, off track, you're crashed so much faster. So I want people to have that like really moment to moment ability to get that feedback and fine tune and like not get it perfect the first time, but be able to notice when it feels out of alignment so you can realign real quick.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I love that. When is your 6 week accelerator starting?
Oh, we
Psychic.
started that a couple days, weeks ago. That felt like
Okay.
a very first of January thing.
Okay.
Um, I do have an experience called Magical AF that is where you get access to like all of it, my membership Abundant AF, and then also more masterminding where we are continually connecting in to the divine and be like, what is going to move your business forward? What do you need to do? What like, and just doing that every freaking week. And then also having access to things like the Psychic AF course and what have you, because I like giving people all the tools that they need, and it's not just one thing, it's everything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think and most of all, it's actually taking the time to come back to center. Like a lot of people are like, I'm so lost, I don't know what my purpose is, but they won't sit with themselves, you know?
That's
And
why I like showing up and making people.
yes,
Like,
exactly. That's
like,
what we're here for. We're the space holders. We're like,
yeah.
okay, I'm creating this container for you, and you're gonna sit down and you're gonna do it.
Yep. When I was learning any skill, I would do some practice on my own when I was a trampoline gymnast, so I'd do some trampoline practice in the backyard. I became a professional hula hooper. I would practice on my own all the time. But when I was on my own, I would never do the drills and the foundational work that would really like move the needle forward. And that's why I've always loved coaches and mentors and courses that made me do the stuff I wouldn't do on my own or just
Yes.
get further faster.
And when you're gathering in a group, like I know for me, like the mentorships that I've done to, deepen my intuition and all that stuff, it's so potent when you're in that space. Like the energy of the whole group together creates so much like energy. And it's almost like quieter. Like I've been to a meditation retreat. It's like same thing. In my room, struggling to meditate. Go to the meditation room, it's silent. It's just everything's quiet. And it just, I don't know what it is. It's just the energy of everybody together. It's just so powerful.
Absolutely. It really does amplify the field. I will say, with one caveat, though, you need like the facilitator or space holder to also be clean, clear, and aligned so they are not bringing in
Absolutely.
other energies or entities or distortion and stuff because it can go the other way.
Oh
Like it can
yeah.
be great in the room and people pick up, distortions that they carry with them. But when you have someone that is holding a clean and clear space, like it is absolutely incredible. Even just two people together, you can go so much deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have that accountability right in front of you, too. Yeah.
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 And also, like, that kind of goes to this piece around I think we came to this planet to exchange information with each other. And there's a lot of us that fell into that lone wolf kind of like either hyper independence, trauma response to our childhood, or ancestral Akashic stuff that was like, oh no, you're going to be a loner in this lifetime. And we bring that here and then we try to do it all on our own. And we're like, oh, it's not really working.
Yeah. I feel like that's very common right now, and I'm even guilty of it too. I just started like a business group for like a business community group, just a coffee meetup, because I'm like, okay, we can't do this alone. And it's hard, I think, as well when you are either making a lot of changes or growing a lot in your life, or you're a business owner because there's not a lot of people who actually are on the same page, that are like self-driven and purpose-driven and are really trying to like move the needle forward. So it's really important I mean, we are who we surround ourselves with, right? And we can't really grow that much by ourselves.
Yeah, I have been friends with mostly entrepreneurs for at least the past like 6, 7 years and before then too. So I am really spoiled in that regard. I actually don't know a lot of people who are living more of a conventional life outside
Hmm.
of like people that I meet through my daughter and things like that. So like I forget sometimes how spoiled I am and how much easier it makes it because it is a
Yeah,
completely different life. And we
it
need
really
those
is. Yeah.
companionships, the people who get it, the people who are, I want to say, just like obsessed with their growth, but not in a way that it's coming from lack, but just like
Yeah.
this soul desire to evolve and create and serve and like, yeah, it's so fun. So
Yeah.
fun being surrounded by that energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. So I'm trying to create more of that in my life because yeah, we need that. And you've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, right? Like very, very long time at this point.
Yeah, about 13 years now. So that's why my life kind of rearranged to do that. I had a business called Dancing into Being, Movement Arts and Healing for 7 years that I was teaching workshops, doing retreats, in-person stuff, working a lot with hula hoops because you can do a lot of personal mastery and healing through learning a flow art like that, which I
Mm-hmm.
loved. And I would sneak in the spiritual stuff. Um, and I actually became an artist in residence where I started teaching the circus arts and some dance and gymnastics as a contracted worker in elementary schools and junior highs for a while as well, which was not a side quest. It was amazing, but I would have to really sneak in the spiritual stuff, and I would teach the kids, which was great, priming them to be available to magic and growth mindset and personal mastery and development and all of that stuff that I love. So it's been a while, but I do always love what I'm doing in the moment more than anything I've ever done before. And I used to think
Yeah.
being a professional hula hooper was like the coolest job you could ever have. And now I get to take people on these crazy soul journeys and experiences into the fields of bliss and then help them make businesses that make the world a better place. Like, it's crazy.
So
So
crazy.
it's getting better.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, I love that. I was just having a moment the other day. I was like, fucking rights. Like, what a life. What a fucking life to live. It's so amazing. And I'm like just eternally grateful that I've gone down this path because it's like it feels like you have like God on your side. Do you know what I mean?
You
And
do.
it
Like,
feels
yes,
like, but
that is correct.
it feels like you have like a secret superpower, is what it feels
You
like.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're in your soul mission on
Mhm.
purpose, the
Yeah.
universe is like conspiring to help you.
Yeah.
So I'm so curious. I'd love to hear because I don't actually know your journey. How long have you been doing this work with all of the workshops and somatic work and alchemy?
I've been doing this for 2 years now. I started out with just like one-on-one sessions, and then actually probably about a year or so ago is when I started doing workshops, and then really started getting into them last summer, and then back into them back in December, January. So, yeah, I really enjoy that. I've got my first series that I'm teaching starting in 2 weeks, an intuitive development series. So I'm very excited about that.
That's amazing. And starting now is, yeah, just an incredible time to be beginning because there are so many people that are looking for that right now. It's
Yeah.
amazing how much more popular it is. And I know I could have leaned it more into the intuitive development because I've always been a psychic and a mystic my whole life. But like 13 years ago, it was more fringe, like, and so like the dance was so fun. I regret nothing. I love dance and movement for medicine and for personal development and mastery and mysticism. But
Hmm.
it's so fun to watch the world wake up to all of the stuff that used to be really fringe and woo. Now people are
Yeah.
like, like
Oh,
this is just like a totally new era that we're in.
totally. It's like it's acceptable to be a witch.
And
And
believe in aliens and all of that stuff.
yeah, yeah. I actually like I've always been in the intuitive development myself, but I'm just starting to teach more of that now because that's the part that really, really excites me. Like I'm usually more into like the nervous system stuff and I think that I've been like slowly dipping my toes more into that side of the world because I come from a religious background. So that was like a little edgy for me at the start, you
Mm.
know?
Totally. And you got to deprogram yourself, but that is the direction the world is moving in. And it's so funny when when it comes to religion, because there's always been mystics and intuitives and prophets and seers. So it's weird that it got weird,
It's
but it was also
funny. Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny being on this side. Like I feel like I'm the bridge between both worlds because I like there's people in my family that consider themselves a prophet, and then there's people in my family that consider themselves psychic. And I'm like, we're doing the same thing, you guys. We're actually doing the same thing, but God forbid, no, we're not. You know? Like like
Yeah.
there's so much fear in like Christianity, I feel like there it and religion, there's so much fear mongering that has been done that they're so scared that they're not even open to hearing about it or learning about it and understanding. Like I've had conversations with my mom where I'm like, Mom, it's just intuitive. Like a psychic means like it's intuitive. That's what it means.
Right. Mother's intuition is a
Yeah.
psychic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the crux of the old paradigm, control through fear, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're evolving out of. And it's the experience of divine reconnection and love that heals the fear almost instantly. It like obliterates it, as you know, when you're in that state of connection and bliss, like fear does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing that to more and more people and helping them have their own interpersonal relationship with the divine instead of outsourcing to someone else. Same thing with the intuition, not asking someone else to be intuitive and guide them. Like, I think all of this move to the new paradigm is about all of us taking all of our power back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I feel like things have shifted in such a way. Like I even made a post about it earlier. Like I feel like there was, I mean, people are still saying this, but AI is taking everyone's jobs. And I'm like, yeah, but it's creating a shift in the workforce so that people can start doing things that are more artistic, like that things that AI can't replace. And we're living in this time where we can do whatever we want. And that requires us being really connected to ourselves. I think that more now than ever, it's like we're living in this world where we're not fucking around anymore. We're not listening to what everybody else told us we had to do. We're like, no, no, we're creating our own path.
Hmm. Absolutely. That is the point. And there's infinite paths to wherever it is that we're going and heading. So finding that resonance with what feels right for you is really the crux of it. So I love the nervous system work that you're bridging with the intuitive development because that is the foundation and the key to be able to be living in your soul purpose, doing the work, showing up, having fun, shining, and not living
Mm-hmm.
in fear of everything like the takeover of AI and other things. Like, we're going to need AI if we want to be a spacefaring civilization. You don't get that through well, you can, I mean, I guess we went to the moon, maybe depending on who you ask, with hand calculations, but we need artificial intelligence to do
Yeah,
some of the stuff, right? To take,
yeah. It's not a
like
bad
you said,
thing.
the heavy work off of humanity so we can be free to create and enjoy. We just have to steer it in that direction instead of, AI taking over art. Let's have it take over the stuff that we don't want to free us up for the personal and spiritual development that we want to do and the artistic creativity and all of that joyful stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything is what you make of it, right? Like it's it's not like we have a choice. It's happening.
Yep. So I love when people can take a middle path and be like, okay, like let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's too many
Hmm.
people in the spiritual communities even that are like, oh my gosh, if you even use AI at all, it's going to steal your soul and you can't ascend. And I'm like,
Oh God.
fear is that their AI is powering the algorithm for the app you just posted in. So like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. Exactly. Like do people not realize that every single social media is using AI to track data constantly? No,
People don't
people
realize
don't.
a lot of things, right? But
People
that's
don't.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I know I can speak to this. Like there's so much um I feel like I'm in the middle path in lots of different ways. Like being in Alberta, it's such a right-winged place and it's really hard to kind of ride the middle of that. You know what I mean? To watch everybody on their journey and the things that they're saying and the way people are arguing and to not be like, come on, guys.
Sit in the middle for so much stuff. I'm glad to be in Edmonton, which is more of a, progressive kind of space, which feels like it balances some things out. But like my idea of politics is like evolving beyond all the fear programming into some kind of
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek like utopia where everyone's needs are met and we can explore, everything that we desire and all of that. So nothing is progressive enough for me, honestly, but I
Yep.
don't understand why, well, I do understand, but the polarity that is being seeded purposefully to divide us is something
Yeah.
that I think more and more people are seeing through, right? There
Yeah.
is the worse it gets, the more obvious it is, the
Yeah.
more people are like, hang on a sec. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
this isn't actually in our highest and best good, and we're being like divided on purpose. What's up with that?
Totally. And something that I think everybody should kind of notice is like how certain areas are mainly with certain views. Like, what does that tell you? It tells you that you're not forming your own opinion. It means you're kind of following the crowds, following the mainstream, you know?
It can. And I think not enough people yet are doing the self-reflective piece of looking at the way they're thinking and why. That is
Yeah.
metacognition. And not everyone is taught to do that. But there, again,
Hmm.
are more and more and more people that are being aware of it. And there was actually just an Olympic skier. I think I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but her name is Eileen, and she was competing for China and she's always on it with her answers. And a journalist was like, can you take us into your brain? Do you speak before you're thinking? And she went on to describe how she does this metacognition, where she didn't use that word, but she's like, I think about how I'm thinking all of the time. And we can arrange our thoughts and actually think what is going to support us instead of what is hindering us. And she's like, and so that is what I do. And she's also like now the most decorated skier, but also like I can't remember, a Stanford neuroscientist or quantum physicist and a model. And she's like 22 or something crazy. So she's like basically on this world stage just this week was like, yeah, if you think about how you think and you arrange it to think the things that you want to think, you too can achieve Olympic gold and several dreams all at once. So it's coming into the collective
That's
consciousness.
cool to see in a space like that.
Yes. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really neat. But then you still get all these the people that are like, ugh, she thinks she's so smart. It's like, yes, as she should.
Yeah, exactly. It always cracks me up when someone calls someone out for something that's like so obvious and it's like what nobody cares. Like why do you care?
Well, to them, it would be an insult, right? There's the rise of
Mm-hmm.
anti-intellectualism, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff. And it's, yeah. Oh, man, we're just really going through it right now. And if we
Mm-hmm.
all just come home to ourselves and remember who the fuck we are, we'll be able to navigate through it.
Yeah, exactly. That is the work we are doing. Find your own truth and anchor into that. Um, I don't know how I started talking about politics. That was not something I ever talk about on the pod, but it was came up in a women's circle last week, and I was like, wait a second, like, can we just remember that we're all on the same side here? So I just feel
Right?
like,
Left wing, right wing, same
yeah,
bird.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But we are getting close to the end here, so I would love to hear about like what you have coming up in your business. Like, what do you want to share with people that you have coming up?
Oh, I always have something coming up. So I would love for people just to tap into my world, whether it's on social media or joining my Facebook group, or I do have a free frequency upgrade academy that people can tap into right away. So I love doing free events as well as having my paid programming where I share a shit ton of resources that people can use right away that are going to be life changing. So my evolutionary alchemy techniques to prep the field. But then if they want to go deeper, that's where like we have the certifications and the places where you can actually like get to work and embody and live this stuff. Because on your own, left to it, probably not much will be happening. The next thing I'm doing that starts March 2nd, I'm not sure when this is going to air, is called Shiny AF. And it is for the conscious entrepreneur that wants to expand their capacity to be visible without burning out or abandoning themselves, because that is how we get our work out into the world. But I weave it through like the identity pieces and the neuro subconscious reprogramming pieces, but also the magic. Like we're going to work with Gaia to expand our nervous system's capacity to hold the light.
Mm, that's so cool. And how long is this magic, shiny magic, shiny magic?
So Shiny AF is a
Shiny, yeah.
one. Yeah, it is. It's actually there is a cost to it. It's like $33 Canadian for a 5-day immersion that we are doing that you get lifetime access to. So
Oh,
that's the
very
next
cool.
little thing that I'm running. I love having little ways of dipping into my world as well, bigger pieces. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like you were saying, it's been a while that I've been doing this. I have tried and tested and proven my methodology and the results my clients get. And like this next phase is like, let's fucking go and just see how good it can get and give her and like just really play with all of this magic.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. And it's so clear as to why I was called or why we crossed paths with each other. And I just kind of started, well, I didn't start, I guess I shouldn't say I just started, but I just took my Earth Reiki certification. And so I've
Mm,
been working with Gaia a lot more
mm,
lately. And always worked with Source and Gaia, but I've been f feeling called to go deeper into the Earth energy and that kind of stuff. So definitely going to be
Amazing.
peeking at your stuff, and you might find me in your little immersive. Your
Oh, I would love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The I love working with source energy and always have. And also we need both, but right now Gaia is the one that's moving us like literally actually I was like, moving us forward, supporting entrepreneur, all of that stuff. No, she's literally made us out of her. So we are
Yeah.
working with her, whether we are doing it consciously or not, but she really wants to be on board helping people like yourself. So, I mean, please come. It would be amazing. Anybody that's listening, please come. The work with Gaia is so profound because it's working with yourself at a deeper level, but also the divine and not
Yes.
ever needing to do anything alone anymore. Like that is what she wants everyone to know. You've been trying to hold the weight of the world on your shoulders alone, the business on your own. And she's like, that's not how you were designed. We as humans were designed to be channels for the energy to flow through. And she's like, let me hold you. This is what I do.
Mm, I love that so much. And I so agree. Like, I think Earth, like Gaia energy is like, it's the embodiment, it's those lower chakras. And for
Mhm.
me, the lower chakras are the ones that are the most blocked and having the most issues and stuff like that. So it's very clear to me why I have been called to work with this like deeper energy.
Totally. For the multidimensional people who are very easily able to access the higher frequencies, most conscious entrepreneurs, starseeds, whatever you want to call it, earth angels, like that, the upper chakra stuff is easy. And it is the like sex, money, power building stuff that's real that we struggle with. And she loves helping and supporting with that. So do I, because I love making the tangible practical. And I have this fun
Agreed.
astrology where it's like, I have a lot of fire, but I also have a lot of earth to hold it. And then like getting to blend all of it together just is the
Yeah.
magic. And that's where we're in now. We have spent a lot of time specializing, saying it's this one thing, it's just mindset, it's just this, it's just that. It's not. It's
Yeah.
unified of it all working together in coherence. And that's
Agreed. Yeah. It's not just one modality or one thing. It's everything all together. It's like a conglomeration of all the things, if you will.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that so
From either
much.
or to and also is where I think we're really shifting.
Yeah, and even in the last couple of months since I've started connecting more with earth energy, like it is just so like opulent.
Yes.
It's so nourishing and comforting, and it does make you do feel held.
I do. And that is like the where she likes to begin with people, but she will also take people into realms of ecstatic pleasure, like where it feels so good, which is so good for the nervous system, right? Where it's not just
Mm-hmm.
feeling work, but like let's get into why we actually came into this body with nerves, like to actually feel the ecstasy in your skin. Like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
She likes to bring it to the people that are ready for it, and like we have so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I'm so happy we connected. I had so much fun chatting with you. I think it's going to be interesting to stay in touch and possibly, meet in real life, maybe go to a similar event or something like that. Do you go to lots of events around the city or?
I have a 10-year-old, so I haven't
Mm,
done as much as, I might have if she wasn't there. So not a ton. Occasionally
yeah.
though. I have spent
Yeah.
more time offline. I'm also, I will say, very discerning or picky with who is facilitating because I can psychically see when things are distorted and I don't want to have to do the work to keep them clean and clear myself. So
Mm,
sometimes it's easier to sit in my bubble where I am in charge of the energy.
totally.
But there are also lots of really amazing, fabulous facilitators here. This is an
Mm-hmm.
amazing cool place to be. So I do need
Yeah.
to get out more. So like we should definitely
Yeah.
get something.
Absolutely. Okay, Casey. Well, that was a blast to talk to you. Um, Everybody, I'll be dropping all of her info in the show notes so you can go and check her out as well. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye.